Hey guys, what is up? What is up? What is up? I know it's another one tonight, but yeah, I'm here. Hey Marie, how you doing? Amy, Smitty, Big Mama, what's up? Kiwi, what's happening? Carolyn, Marcy, Smitty. What's going on, Carolyn? How are you? Cool, thanks, Smitty. Appreciate that. Benny, what's up? Let's check what we got going on here. Make sure the stream is okay. Again, guys, I probably won't have a whole lot here. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. I just did a stream a little while ago. I pulled it down. The reason I pulled it down is I had to rush through it, and I didn't want that. With the subject I was talking about, I just did not want to rush through. Okay? Hey, Tab. Good to see you, Mark. I think, was Joanna in there? Yeah, hey, Joanna. How you doing? Alfred, what's happening? Margaret said, "How are you, Emperor, Stephanie, Lamonda, Joanna, Luis, CW, back again. Hey, hey." Again, guys, moderators, as I get into the second part of this, please, don't hesitate to throw that wrench around a little bit if it gets stupid. It didn't last time. So I do appreciate everybody, letting me have my, being able to get my stuff out the way that I want to. It definitely is, kind of hard to do sometimes when you don't want to push buttons, especially people that are going through things. So that's kind of where I was at, and that's where I'm at now. But I'm back here now. I want to go ahead and I'm sorry I ain't had a video in a while. But the thing of it is, guys, there hasn't been a whole lot going on. You guys know the last time that this kind of happened, as soon as we had something going on, I was here. I'm not going to not, do that. I do think, if you guys want me to, I can give you a quick 5-minute video or something every day with an update if that's really what you guys want. I don't know if that's what you want, but I can do that. It's not a big deal. Oh, I don't let the Masky, you say it's a good comment. Don't let the trolls bother you. It's not so much the trolls that, it's people that have their own thing going on, and I do respect that people have to go through things, and I try to be respectful, and sometimes some of that stuff isn't reciprocated back, and it just happens that way, and I don't try to judge, and that's why I do what I do. That's why I don't mention channel names, and this will be one of the only few times that I mention channel name, because it needs to be. It's not. I'm not attacking. I'm actually taking up for this channel. So, anyway, I'm going to give you guys a quick little space weather update real quick, and then we'll get into that. So, again, guys, nothing much going on with the Schumann, okay? The resonance popping around here, not much going on. Not much to say. You got a little bit of an increase here. And again, this is the one in Russia. We have to understand it is a global thing, and that's just a local tool. So, a little bit, AB. Not much. I just got started, so we're good. So, again, guys, this may be a low turnout because it is kind of an odd hour, number one. Number two, it's the second time I'm kind of doing this, but I'm going to do it better. So, anyway, you got the X-ray flux. We're kind of low, guys. Just putting it out there like that because that's what we are. We were kind of hanging up towards C flare X-ray flux production for a good amount of time. Now we've had a little slow time on the sun. Now this does show you that just because there's low X-ray flux doesn't mean that we don't have geomagnetic activity. The activity is coming from coronal holes right now, which is usually where that comes from during solar minimum or during slow times with the sun. Not necessarily just solar minimum, but coronal holes produce a lot of our geomagnetic activity. I just want to make sure everybody understands that. As you can see here, we got almost a storm level. We popped up here pretty quick. Okay. In the last few hours, we've had an increase and also a variability in the solar wind speed, which sometimes when you get these little waves of things that's kind of crashing in magnetically, it will increase our geomagnetic activity up a little bit more other than just a constant speed or stream. In other words, what I mean is if we go over here and we look at the Discover data, the solar wind speed here is in purple. You see how it's all constant right here? The second that it was up to 6 something here, which is higher, okay? 3 to 500 kilometers a second is what we consider normal. So anything above that, we consider a little bit outside of normal. Hey, Ribby! But anyway, you can see how this was more of a straight line and not what I call popcorn. When you see the popcorn, a data point is that. It's just a point on these graphs right here, especially here on Discover and ACE, right? So when these things are jumping around like this, you're going to see the geomagnetic activity get increased because our magnetic field is basically taking pulses of hits, right? And that's what you see here. As soon as it started doing that, what happened? This happened. It went from here to here. Nothing else changed. So, yeah, popcorn. Yeah, Daryl, I know. That's kind of a weird analogy, but, people understand popcorn, right? See how it's kind of popping around there a little bit? That just means it's variable wind conditions. Speeds varying up and down, up and down. So, that's kind of what we're looking at, right? And you can see here, even with this, even though this is density, it stayed really constant. But you can see even with this, it moved around a little. And that's what we would expect to see because with higher wind speed, usually you'll get a little bit lower density. So just, that's kind of the thing. And now you want popcorn, Jacob? Good one. But notice that the BZ, okay, guys, and I've been saying this for a long time, that the BZ, -6, we have to really be pointed south. Because negative means our magnetic field is kind of pointed south. And that's really what we need to get the geomagnetic activity to really hit us really hard. It makes it easier for it to make it past our shields. It comes in a lot easier and all that, right? So, and there's a lot of technicality stuff that we could dive into that I'm not going to because simply, guys, it would probably bore you. It would bore you probably to the point where you're like, what the heck is he? I understand it, but it took me a long time to get even a basic understanding of this. I don't have any secondary education, never claimed to. Matter of fact, I say that I don't almost all the time. I don't claim to have any kind of special knowledge of anything. I don't claim any of that stuff. This is just something I've researched, and I'm sharing with what I research, and I share my growing with you guys. That's why I leave my mistakes back there. You guys can go watch some of my really early videos. You're going to see some really big mistakes that I made, and I struggled with whether or not I should pull that stuff down. I struggled with that, because I don't want somebody to come across it for the first time and think that that's actually what things are, right? But I also want people that are here and they're looking at stuff, I want them to understand that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to admit when you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to jump out there and be like, hey, this is what I think it is. If it's wrong, somebody tell me so I can understand. And that's exactly what I've done with my whole walk here on YouTube. And I've come such a far way from where I used to be. I didn't understand how a sunspot was made or what made it happen. I didn't even know the sun rotated at different speeds on different parts of the sun. Right? The equator of the sun, the equatorial region, rotates faster than the North and South Pole regions of the sun. That's a big reason why we get sunspots where we get them. Because it drags the magnetic connectivity lines that should be almost should be more perpendicular and not horizontal. Right? Vertical, not perpendicular. Duh. Anyway, they should be more vertical and not horizontal. And they get pulled horizontal. So that's why we get the sunspots in the areas that we do. And as we go on in the sun cycle, they start migrating towards the equatorial regions of the sun. Because those are getting pulled more and more horizontal. And they get kinks in them. When they get a kink, that's a sunspot. All done on, you know it, Menacing. You've been here since the beginning. I'm telling you. Wow. Yeah, I used to do my videos on a broken cell phone with a broken screen. Yeah. And I did a lot of my earlier videos vertical. That's how ridiculous I was. I didn't know any better. Not to say, because there are certain videos out there, certain channels, that I think are better vertical. Honestly. Well, I know one, Christine Settleman. She's one of the mods here. You guys probably know Christine. And she does, she goes and takes photography at the beach and stuff, puts music with it, and it looks really good vertically, the way she does it. So I'd leave it that way if I was her. But yeah, so just saying. Those are the growing pains that I went through, and I don't want anybody else to have to go through them. That's why I leave my mistakes there, just so people understand that. So this is our magnetosphere, and as you can tell, we don't typically see these red colors, right? I mean, that means it's high, right? So this is wind speed, and you're going to see waves coming in. This is what's causing the popcorn look on the Discover data. So understand that. That is definitely what's going on there. By the way, if you guys ain't seen Rip's dog, you guys need to go check out Rip's dog. Benny, he's a freaking hoot, man. I love it. Love his dog. Little pit. It's pit bull, right, Rip? Hey, Keith, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. So, yeah, so you got density here. And what do we got for density? Same kind of thing, guys. You're going to see little waves come in and out. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. And again, I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on this because I'm making this video really pretty much to talk about the second part of what I'm going to here in a minute. I already did this earlier, but we did have another burst of solar wind, so I wanted to do this again real quick. And again, guys, I pulled down my first one. Hey, Kiss, what's up? That's my Canadian brother. Hey, Conspiracy Realist, what's going on? Good to see you guys. I'm happy you guys are popping in here. I know I'm putting you guys to the test today because I had one up earlier and I pulled it down. And again, guys, I'm not going to leave something up that was half done like I did it. I want people to really understand what I was saying. So that's why I pulled it down. No other reason. YouTube didn't pull it down. Nothing like that. But yeah. Hey, Noodlehead. What's going on? Now, this here is geoelectric field model. What this is showing us, guys, is space weather's effect on our electrical grid or artificial electrical components. I can't wait till they get the 3D one over here on the left done because it will make it so much better. You can tell the difference, right? Now, the one-dimensional one over here does just fine, but they haven't got this completed over here. And you'll notice that around the bigger city areas, you'll see more activity because there's more population, which means more artificial electrical components. That's why you see the difference here. So let me play this, and what you're going to see, that's that solar wind hitting, right? Some of it gets through. Now I'm gonna pause it right about there, and well, I guess I can drag it here too. I've been noticing, and I'm not sure if there's anything to do with this. I'm not trying to claim anything here, but what I am noticing something here as of late. And I thought it was just because this model over here wasn't done. But then I noticed it over here. Here as of late, when we're getting geomagnetic activity, this particular graph only, I'm not seeing it anywhere else, so let me put that up there. We're getting activity just right here in this area. More so than the others. I don't know why. I don't know why our magnetic field would be weaker there in such a large area for an extended period of time. We get cracks, we get weak spots and stuff every day in our magnetic field, right? It's I explain it like this. It's like your grandma's Afghan, right? You know what an Afghan is, right? Where you take the big needles and you, well, they call it crocheting, I guess. I can't remember the exact name. But it's not perfectly solid. It's thicker in some areas than others. It even has holes in it, right? So that's kind of like what our magnetic field is. It's like your grandma's Afghan draped over our planet or around it. Tab, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. That's a large area, okay? And it just started like with the snap of my finger here, honestly. Now, also, I want to point out, you guys see how we get these little anomalies right here on this one? And this, like, what looks to be like an arrow. That's always been there since they put this model up. I'm not sure how they could correct it. But you're seeing the Appalachian Mountain chain here, and you're seeing Rocky Mountains over here. Okay? So you're going to see a difference, right? That's why. Okay? But yeah, Tab, I really don't know. I don't think those would do that. I would say the word, but you guys understand. I can't say I say that word. It would yeah, smack that algorithm. And anyway, so here's SDO. This is the 171 angstrom. I'll show you the 211 in a minute. This is looking at that specific wavelength of light, 171, and what they do is they target a certain gas, because certain gases show up different on the light spectrum. And they could assign this any color they wanted. They just assigned it yellow on this particular tool. This is SDO, which is out in front of our planet. I believe it's like 38,000 miles up away from our planet. It's not like way out there like SOHO is, which is about 1,000,000 miles closer to the sun than what we are. But it's essentially in the same kind of position. It's always looking at the sun. So, glad you're back. Glad you're back, Joanna. But these are sunspots, and there was a filament release here, and I forgot to mention that in the last stream. Now, I don't know if it's going to be coming our direction or not. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, that's another thing, guys. Jacob makes a huge... Thank you for saying that. 30,000 particle colliders in the world. Yes, they will absolutely affect the charts. Yes, 100%. Mainstream will even tell you that, right? I don't mean to say it like that either, like all mainstream is bad. I'm just saying that everybody says that. It's an accepted thing. And the point I want to make is, he said it right there, 30,000 of them. Everybody always goes straight to CERN, right? And yes, we should look at that, because that's a very large one. I'm not sure if it's still the most powerful one, but it most certainly is the most famous one, right? So when they fire that thing up, obviously, it's going to affect some things. It just does. Sorry. But we would be remiss not to tell everybody that there's about 29,000 more of them around the planet. Hey, James, good to see you. Hey, Chris. So, what I'm saying, oh, okay. Are you serious, Marie? If you're serious, I'm not judging you. I mean, if you don't know what that is, let me know. Okay? I'm serious. I will explain that to you in a second. Actually, I'll just do it anyway, because there might be some people out there that don't know what it is. What they do is that, CERN, I'm not going to say the word, because it would definitely hit the algorithm. They fire high-speed particles, and they crash them into each other. Right? Hey, what's going on, Mark? Good to see you. Yeah. Thank you, Tab, for typing that in there. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I received the largest magnet ever. They use magnets, guys. No, it's okay, Marie. I'm not judging you at all. I promise you. That's not, because there's a lot of people might not know exactly what it is. It's very much like I'm not sure if you guys know what a linear motor is. A linear motor is essentially just magnets set up in a line in certain polarity order. And it basically is like waves, and it pushes the particles in one direction or the other. And it reacts different than what you would think. There's a lot of magnetic stuff there that we could dive into, and it would take a very long time to go into that. But that's part of the technology that they use. That's how they get them moving so fast. What they're trying to do is find the God particle. Okay? I mean, honestly, that's what they're doing. And I think we all know that. They're doing other stuff too. But if you crash two particles together, you got to understand how powerful that is. One atom crashing into another one, there's a reason why they call it an atom bomb. That's what's happening in those bombs. Those atoms are splitting. They're smacking into each other. They're exploding into levels that you would never even think. Think about this, like a black hole. Most black holes are so small, you wouldn't even understand. Some of them are not even the size of our moon. Okay? But yet they would have the power of the gravitational power that you just could not even imagine. So that's what we're talking about here when we're going into this, right? And again, guys, I don't mean to go off on the side things here, but it is, that is a great subject because it does affect it. When we fire things up like that, it's definitely going to affect it. It's definitely one thing it will affect that people are now picking up on is the Schumann, the resonance. When you fire those things up, it's definitely affecting the way things bounce around inside our ionosphere in the surface of our planet, even though it's below ground. So that's what I would say. Well, thank you, Elaine. I appreciate you being here. I really do. I can't tell you guys how much. And I know I haven't been putting out a whole lot of videos over here. Yep, you're right, Paula. Yeah, no kidding. We probably wouldn't be here anymore, Jacob, if they all went on at one time and started smacking particles everywhere. If you just do this for yourself, guys. When the stream's over, just simply Google how much energy is expelled when one atom smacks into another. Okay, you will be astounded at the amount of energy that happens there. Take for example, I've talked about what we call an interplanetary magnetic. Now I'm drawing a blank. I have to go look at it. It's when the particles. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on that right now. I talk about it all the time. Interplanetary magnetic collision, I guess. I can't remember what they called it. Anyway, they were able to catch it for the first time inside our solar system. And it's when faster solar wind catches up with stuff that's in front of it. And they start interacting with each other in a way that the particles typically will push each other away from each other. So what the reaction you're seeing there is that, more so than it is them smacking into each other. Now, make no mistake, some of them do, but the majority of them, the energy that's being released is pushing against each other. So, yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, Rip, I mean, my gosh. I made a mistake as my kids were growing up. I didn't really allow them to we had one dog, and I just have to be honest with you, it destroyed me because it only lived like 3 years. And once that dog started becoming a really good dog, she ended up getting sick, and it really was kind of destroyed us for a while. It was bad. So I haven't let my daughter have any pet like that, and I think it's a mistake. I probably should have. She's 14 now. I know my middle son didn't really have a dog either. Our first one died when he was like, I'll just tell you guys this quick little story. How about that? It's late anyway. My dog, that dog there, the vet asked me, because she started acting weird, so we took her to the vet, asked me if I golfed. And at the time I did. So he took my hand and put it up underneath her belly, and it felt like a golf ball. Right? So he said he thought she had swallowed a golf ball. So he had to go in and get it, right? Well, when he opened her up and went to take it out, it was a tumor. It wasn't a golf ball. So he took it all out and everything, and we thought everything was going to be okay. Well, about, I don't know, I don't even think it was a month. Might have been a little over a month, but my wife calls me, and she couldn't even get the dog down the steps because she didn't want to go outside and use the bathroom and all those kinds of things. So we took her back to the vet, and obviously it was cancer, and the dog wasn't going to make it, basically. So we ended up putting her down and all that, and I went to go take her to bury her, and I tell you what, man, my son, wow. It was my oldest son's dog, okay? He was like 8. And my youngest, like I said, was like 4 or 5 at the time. And, man, I'd never seen something so, you can tell I'm kind of tripping up here because it bothers me. So we dug the hole, and the next thing I know, I see my 4 or 5-year-old middle son, and this was ripping my older one up bad. I mean, this was horrible. So, my oldest son, I knew that he would want to help bury the dog, so whatever, we're doing that, and he's helping me dig the hole. We get the hole dug, put the dog down in the hole. The next thing I know, here comes my 4 or 5-year-old with a shovel, wanting to help, because he realized even at that young age the respect that we need to give animals and ourselves. That was a huge lesson even for me. That tells you right there, we know what's right and what's wrong. Okay? So, don't let people tell you that you don't have some initial instinct of what's right and wrong. I won't believe it. And that right there was proof to me that I didn't have to tell that my 4 or 5-year-old son how much respect he was showing just by wanting to do that. I mean, he was bawling at the same time. We were all crying. I mean, you guys know how it is. You guys, you lose a pet, it's like losing a family member. But I just thought I'd share it with you. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off there. So anyway, back to space weather. Sorry. Again, squirrel. Yeah. So let me take you to the 211, and that's where we're going to go here. I'm showing you this because it shows the coronal holes. So the 211 angstrom will show, well, it's okay, Dylan. This happened like years ago, guys. I'm talking 10 or 15 years ago, right? Well, more like 15, because my daughter wasn't born yet. Exactly, guys. Exactly. I'm going to get a little like, cartoon that says squirrel, and I'm going to flash it up there every time I do that. I'm going to do that to Tommy, too. Tommy, if you're listening, if you're in here lurking, that's coming. Anyway, you got the coronal holes. Now, they are exactly what I just said. They're holes in the corona. So, that's what it is, right? And as you're looking here, this angstrom will show it a lot better. So what that does is it allows the connection between us and the sun. A lot of particles will spew out there, fast and dense. Hey, Nita, what's up? You're right, Nita, it does. Squirrel. Anyway, but yeah, so fast and dense solar wind travels on that road. Yeah, for real, man. That's right, Rip. It's just, it's hard. It really is. I lost quite a few dogs as I was growing up. Most of them to cancer, believe it or not. We had Cocker Spaniels as I was growing up, and that's actually kind of one of their things that they do get. They have one of the worst problem with ear issues, too, as far as infection in their ears. I remember my mom just sitting down and cleaning out the dog's ears with peroxide and stuff. But, yeah. It's good you're here, Nina. I'm glad to see you. So, okay, so that's where that's coming from, right? But I want to share this interesting story with you, right? Oh, wow. Sorry, Noodlehead. That's hard. It really is. I hate to hear that, you know. And, and I don't like to say, hey, well, 17-year-old cat, that made it a lot longer than most, right? I hate it when people say that to me about stuff like that, right? So I'm not saying that to you. I'm pointing that out because I think it's the wrong thing to do. So anybody out there that has got somebody that lost a pet, you don't know what to say, don't say nothing at all. Because you can't help it. You can't help the situation at all if you don't know what you're going to say. Okay? So don't tell somebody, and I'm not laughing here about the 17-year-old cat losing its battle with cancer there. That's not what the people want to hear at that point, right? I mean, am I wrong, Noodlehead? I mean, if somebody was to actually say that to you and mean it, that would do nothing but bother you, right? So, just so you know, anybody that doesn't understand, it's a hard thing to say anything to anybody during that time. So, anyway, squirrel! We're in this Leonid meteor shower, okay? These are predictable things, right? We know we're going to have these every year. We pass through. It's basically the debris from a comet that passed us years ago, right? So, we know. Yeah, you're right, Rebecca. Science is best when you just don't know what to say. It's best just to say I understand, and if you need to talk, I'm right here. I'm telling you guys, it's the best way to do it. You can't mess up if you don't say nothing. Well, unless it's your wife, then you got to read her mind, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. Believe me, that ain't a joke around here. My wife is my best friend, and I would never, I'm kind of scared, guys. I'm scared. Just kidding. But anyway, you got the linear meteor shower happening, and we're doing, we're going to be getting upwards of 10 to 15 an hour, 17th here. If anybody has any clear skies, please go check this out. If you guys catch pictures of this stuff, please send them to me. If you guys are in a place in the world where you get to see aurora, please send them to me. I promise you I will share them on my channel. I promise. You get all the credit. I just want to show it to people. I think it's awesome stuff. So, but yeah, that's right, Darby. I tell you. But what this is, guys, this is a very interesting story, and this is how the whole world crosses over into space weather. Check this out. We had the Russians actually just shot down one of their own satellites that was old, right? Yeah, Anita. But yeah, so they shoot down this satellite, right? What's it say? So if we turn back the clock like 18 years, back to 2003, what this did, this blowing up this satellite, it scattered a bunch of debris into our atmosphere, right? To the point where the people that are on the ISS took cover in their crew cabs because in case they had to abandon ship. I mean, I'm not laughing at that. It just is like, what? Are you serious? But my guess is they're probably being overcautious on purpose. So just want to say, you know, that's what happened on the 15th this year. That just happened. So, you know, was it better to blow that up or let it come in and just do whatever it does? I don't know the answer to that. But back in 2003, Solar Cycle 23 was winding down, right? And the whole community, and I wasn't even doing space weather at the time, didn't even really know what it was. Oh, it's okay. It's okay, Whitetail. I'm glad you're here now. I like seeing you guys. I really do. You know, the connections I built with you guys it's special to me anyway. But anyway, as you got this is 2003, and the whole community was saying, science community, space weather community, hey guys, we're getting ready to come into a really slow time. I think we were heading towards solar minimum at the time in that sun cycle. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure. Because, yeah, we would have been. See, 2006, see my cursor, guys? 2006, 19% means there was only 19% of the days that there were no sunspots facing Earth. So the year prior to this would have been very similar to last year for us. 57%. And then the height would have been the year before. So yes, we were slowing down in the sun cycle there, right? But, there's a lot of reasons for this, okay? People are going to tell you that the worst time for us to get a shot from the sun, you know, we got to be more worried during solar maximum. You know what we got to worry about during solar maximum the most is the amount that we get. The really powerful ones that are going to hit us typically come during when we're not having a whole lot of solar activity. And there's a lot of technical reasons for that. A lot of studies been done on that. And there's really nobody that disagrees with that other than outside of whatever you want to talk about. But keep that in mind, okay? The sun helps protect us from the sun. I've said it a lot. Now, what they're talking about here is something that nobody expected. We got an X17 and then an X10 flare. 2 flares. That's bad news when that happens. Two X-class flares back-to-back like that, fired at us or fired anywhere, wherever it hits, is that second one is probably going to give you the biggest damage because your magnetic field is still trying to recuperate and get back to stable conditions when it gets hit with the other one. It just doesn't have enough time. Those left the sun. They were here in 19 hours. Guys, you got to understand, that's fast. I mean, we tell, you know, when on a typical CME, we're looking at anywhere between 2 to 5 days, typically around 3 or 4. So keep that in mind. So the fact that these suckers got here in 19 hours, wow. Now, I don't remember this event because I was not into this at the time. That sucks. Let me tell you why. That tells you right there that we're not educated enough in this subject realm, and it's not out there in the public enough that it needs to be. This stuff needs to be, the space weather news, I shouldn't have to come and give it to you guys. It should be giving, the basic data points and stuff should be given to you on a local news report, part of the weather report. And with that being said, if you guys go to my description right now, Tamitha Scove, her channel description is in there. She did a really good video the other day talking about the X-class flare that hit us, right? Please go check her channel out. You don't have to drop my name. That's not my intent. You know, I've just learned so much from her, watching her stuff. She is, it's free college. That's all I can really say. It honestly is. It is free college. She teaches at colleges, but yet she still does this. Now, she does run a Patreon, and her Patreons obviously are going to take precedent over anything else. But if you go over there and you become a Patreon, I'm not. I should be, but I'm not. Go over there, and her Patreons get a lot of access to a lot of good stuff, just so you know. Now, again, I'm not trying to promote her channel or anything. I just think people need to deserve the credit when they're doing good things. And I really do think that. I think everybody would benefit from going over there and checking it out at least. And again, you don't have to put my name anywhere. That's not my intent. I just want people to understand that that's a good source. And, again, I've never even talked to Tamitha at all, ever. I just know I've learned a lot. So anyway, as we're going through this happened, right? So you guys can read what happened after 3 days of severe extreme geomagnetic storms. It basically blew half our satellites, just made them dead. Now I say all this because Earth orbiting satellites experience reboots and even unwanted thruster firings. I mean, it really took a lot of these satellites came back online, I think. But it definitely, I think it destroyed a couple at least. I'd have to go through here and really read into this, but understand that our lives right now are almost completely done through satellite communications. What does this say to you? This was not too long ago, guys. This was 2003. It says right here, estimates that upwards of 59% of NASA's Earth and space science satellites were affected in some way. That's huge. Okay? And we're only talking X10, X17. We're not talking like big time Carrington event type of stuff. Because that was way bigger than that. So I really hope you guys get that. Hey Anna, what's up? And guys, anybody that was here for the first stream, I'm sorry I had to cut it short, but I had to go do the show over at the Lifeboat. And if you guys haven't been over on the Lifeboat, please go. It's such a great thing over there. Even if you haven't struggled with addiction or know anybody that does, which would be odd to me, because everybody usually typically knows somebody that is. You can learn a lot, and if you need help getting help, we're there to help you. And it's just CW is over there. I mean, everybody. Tom, good to see you, Tom. Hey, thanks for that text too. I'm going to pass that on to Tommy, just so you know. Appreciate that, brother. Really do. That's what it takes. It takes everybody, and that's what we do. So, anyway, but with this, guys, look what else. Check this out. Check out this aurora. Anybody ever get something like this for themselves? I definitely, back at you, Kinley. Back at you. But, does it, Anna? Big old halo tonight? Yeah, that's, typically, you know what that means? That means you're going to get weather tomorrow. Or before. That's usually what that means. See, that's what I was always told. I don't know if it's the truth or not, but seems to be. I think it has to do with, that part of it has to do with what kind of moisture and stuff's in the air. It's just kind of pointing towards rain the next day or something. I don't know for sure. Yeah, it's called the Lifeboat, Nita. Please go over there. Anybody that hasn't heard me say that yet, one of my mods, could you please drop that link in the description for the Lifeboat? I would really appreciate it. Hey, MJ. Rip is awesome. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Mark Pires, guys. Mark's my brother. You guys know this. And I think most of you guys have heard me push you guys over there for over a year now. And sometimes I forget I need to just keep saying it. And because it's a positive outlet, guys. I don't need no negativity in my life. But anyway, with the aurora, that's what you got here. If anybody gets these pictures, please send them to me. I'll show them. I'll give you credit. And then guess what? If you're taking pictures like this, you better be selling it. Hey, Rose, what's up? Sell that sucker. You're going to get a lot of money out of that one. I promise. That's an awesome one. Who took that one? Marcus Verrick from Tromsø, Norway. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm not sure how to pronounce that that zero with that. I'm calling it a zero, but it's an O with a, a backward slash through there. Near Earth objects. Not much going on here, guys. This is lunar distance. Now, I do look for the fireball reports to increase as we come into this meteor shower. Always does. So yeah, guys. So that's my. Well, we'll talk about earthquakes for a second. Not really nothing going on at this specific time. There was a couple big ones in Iran. I'm not sure if you guys heard about them or not. A 6.0 and a 6.3. About I think they were like 3 minutes apart or something like that. And they weren't at the same exact spot. Now, I'm sure they were related, obviously, but I'm not the earthquake guy. But I've been noticing here lately, we've been getting some pretty significant ones around our equatorial region and even, up towards our poles. So that's just a little small observation I've made. Link to send me pics, just send it right to my email. I can type that in there real quick. Oops. There you go. There's my email. Yeah, it's been kind of quiet the past couple days, but we've actually had some pretty significant ones in Taiwan and everything. So, again, guys, there's a lot of earthquake channels out there. You guys know the bigger ones. Some of the not so bigger ones would be like Ron Taylor, Emergency Management Associates. Terry Rumpel does one, Feed My Sheep. They talk about earthquakes over there too. Both good contacts and good info. Go check them out. So. Also, I want to say, I don't say this enough either. Thank you to Marfugel. Adam and Dex over there do a killer job. I can't say it enough. Such great guys. And whatever your opinions are, it's what your opinions are. The fact of the matter is they're out there doing the thing. And I'm telling you, I consider both of them friends. I mean, honestly, we've talked outside of just doing videos. So just know that. Now, sometimes we forget that, guys. We're people. People behind these YouTube channels, there's real people. Just so you know. If you didn't know that, that's what it is. So guess what? Also, words mean something. Right? We say that a lot over on the lifeboat. I didn't start saying that until I was, talking to Tommy quite a bit. But I know what he's saying. Words mean things. Yeah, Mark's not on tonight, I don't think, because he don't have any power. They lost power out there where he was at. I seen the video he did earlier today, and there's some political stuff going on there. Nobody's even working on the stuff. Yeah. Earthquakes and volcanoes are more accurate for me. I check out everybody, Jacob, just so you know. I really do. Thanks, Tom, for dropping Mark's link in there. Check out Rip, too, guys. Rip's in here. He does, I was talking about his dog earlier. Tom, guys, I could sit here all day long. You guys know that. But, so, why am I doing this second live stream? In case you guys didn't know, I did a live stream earlier. I pulled it down because I wasn't able to talk about this the way that I needed to. And Yeah, thank you, Kenley. Well said. Indeed, words and thoughts travel far, far. Be mindful of what you speak and think. That's well said. So well said. Maybe blind dude. And again, nobody can predict that. All we can do is pay attention and understand. The ones that'll be like that big, you just never know when they're coming. The increase of solar maximum. Yes, we have a bit more chance of catching a really large flare because you're going to have more flares. But at the same time, because we're in solar maximum, our Earth actually handles it better. So it's kind of a catch-22. So, yeah, I think it is possible, blind dude. I really do. I don't think it's not possible. And let me just preface this. I think just about everything is possible. Now, once we do research and everybody starts to decide what they think is possible and what could be true, right? And I don't, yeah. And I don't judge either way. I don't. I think you guys know that. To the point where I won't even allow other channel names to be said in a negative way on my channel. I really think that you guys... Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Tom. That's okay. I know. I haven't watched that for a while. But it's okay. No, it's fine. I want everybody to see all sides of everything, Tom. I really do. That's just my goal, and people can make up their own minds. Let me say this one more time. You guys are not stupid. Somebody out there that's telling you exactly how to think, there's a couple things there that you need to unpack. You really do. They most certainly think you are stupid. They're telling you you can't think for yourself. When they say, hey, I'm the one that has all the truth. They're saying that they're the only ones that have anything there when they say those kinds of things. Right? So keep that in mind. When you hear somebody say that, be very cautious. When somebody keeps repeating their credentials, keeps repeating everything above and beyond all that, they're trying to justify what they're saying because most of the time they don't have a whole lot to support it. And they want you to believe what they believe. So, and it is whatever. They're allowed to do that, right? Just like I'm allowed to do what I'm doing. But just be cautious, okay? When somebody tells you exactly how to think, and they won't allow any other thought processes to go on the platform that they're on, wherever they're doing their stuff, even in real life. Yeah, yeah, Jacob, you said it, but I'm not, yeah, I get it, right? So I really do think that I have a lot more respect for you guys. That's all. I really do. And I know it sounds ridiculous to say that about people that I've never physically met. But especially since I've been a part of the lifeboat, I'm telling you, I have real feelings for people. I truly do love the people. I really do. If something bad was to happen, I feel it, right? And that's something I started doing here with you guys. That's why I never went back just to doing my little 15-minute videos a day, right? Because guess what, guys? My channel would probably be at least a half a size bigger than what it is now if I'd have kept doing what I was doing. But that's not my goal. My goal is just to bring you what I think is the truth and to make connections with you people. I'm not kidding. Hey, Opposite, what's up? Good to see you. So, and that's, that's what I would say. And it just is. I value the connection with you guys way more than I value any science that I could ever give to you. So, hey, back ass words, I can say that's your name. But anyway, so I am going to mention a channel name here in just a second, but it's not going to be a negative. It's not going to be a negative notation. Now, you've seen in my title, and I put this in my last video too that I pulled down. Cancel culture. I hate it, right? I think everybody, I really do think that is something that should not be happening. There's a channel called Homebrew, right? Channel's not there now because of some stupid internet spat, right? That's what it amounts to. Really does. And I hate the fact that this happened to, his name's John. I think everybody knows that. Anybody knows who Homebrew is. You can't go to his channel because it's not there anymore. It was taken down. And that's not right, the way that it happened. Sorry. Now, let me preface this by saying I don't agree with a lot of the science that he talks about on this channel. Right? I don't. That does not mean in one shape or form that I agree with this channel getting taken down the way that it has. It should never happen like that. And what, it started with internet spat stuff. And what's crazy is that John is a really nice guy, really good guy. And yeah, he's made videos saying, hey, this is what it is, defending himself and what he believes. And, they were fighting back and forth. And it wasn't just John's channel, it was another channel. And, when all that went down, none of that should have happened the way that it did. So, and I said this in my earlier video, anybody that's listening to me right now, hey, Mike, good to see you. Glad you come here from Mark. Mark's awesome. Anyway, thanks for dropping in, Mike. I really do appreciate you. I do. So, squirrel. Yeah, I know. So, when things happen like that, with John and all that, and his channel got taken down because I think it ended up being copyright stuff. So, now listen. And it came from somebody he was pushing a lot of people over to, and they started fighting amongst themselves, and then all of a sudden it wasn't okay to use each other's material, right? That's really what happened here. Thanks, kids. Love it. So anyway, what I'm saying is that if anybody on that side of what's happened over there, the best thing you guys can do if you want anything done is to go over to Twitter and tag Team YouTube. Get everybody and anybody that you can to go tag Team YouTube and tell them in that tag what's going on, right? So what that does is, the majority of the time, if there's enough that do that, you'll get an actual human eyeball on the situation. Okay? So what I'm saying is, there are over 50 million YouTube channels in the world right now. Now, let's do a little bit of math. You take that times 2, what do you get? 100,000, right? And then you take that times whatever, and it ends up being like times 200. So, what that means is, roughly about every 200 people that you see walking around this planet right now have a YouTube channel. That tells you how many are out there, right? So it also tells you that there's absolutely no way that a human can look. There's no way they could staff enough people to look at all that, right? Anytime there were situations happening. So the only way... that sucks. Wow. But anyway, that does suck, Nita. Wow. So when you go over there and you do that, what that does is, once a human eyeball gets on it, you got a better chance. You really do. So anybody that's listening to me that is trying to help that situation, I would suggest, getting a hold of John somehow, and somehow get it out there that he needs everybody to go over to Team YouTube on Twitter and tag and tell everybody what's going on. Now, I'm not going to sit here and judge right or wrong on anybody's stuff. I don't know the whole inside stuff. It's none of my business, right? But what I will say, that's exactly what needs to happen. And once a human eye gets on it, then what happens after that, I guess you really probably don't have any control over. And much as that sucks to say, but yeah, Michael, it's definitely something it's a broken system, okay? Let's just say it what it is. It really is. Because there's things out there that I've seen personally that some channels out there shouldn't be there for what they're doing, because they're clearly breaking the rules, but you can't get nothing done about it. And then when something like this happens and you see that happen to Homebrew and his channel, it's not right. And again, let me say this. I don't agree with a lot of science that Homebrew talked about. I don't. Doesn't mean that I don't think his channel should be there. He does have the right to do what everybody else is doing. So just let me say that, okay? So I'm going to leave that part of it. That's where I'm going to stop with the cancel culture. But you heard me say that I don't agree with the science. And let me give you a little backstory on this. I was, there's a theory out there, and I'll go into the theory in a second. But people kept asking me, please do research on this. Please let me know your opinion on this. And I kept pushing it off. So I started doing research on it about a year ago. Now, I came to a really, when I went into it, I was actually kind of on the side, kind of leaning. I never was on anybody's side, but leaning one direction, and I ended up not thinking that way, right? I was kind of leaning one direction, and I didn't, because of what I've seen and the research that I've done, right? So I guess I should probably just start with the theory, okay? And again, this is no personal attack on anybody. I'm not even going to mention anybody's names anymore. It's not worth it. It's just not. But one thing I can promise you, and people that understand what I'm getting ready to say will understand what I'm saying, right? I'm not going to come to you and show you this, my opinion on this theory, and show you a pickle on a stick. Okay, I'm not going to do that. It's just ridiculous. If I want you guys to take me serious in anything I'm saying, am I going to come on the internet with a pickle on the end of a stick and call it a model and show you anything? Are you going to take me serious if I do that? It's good if you're going to show your kids and you don't, have a model to show them. You're right around there doing whatever, and then you can, show your neighbor or whatever. But I don't think it's, and I'm not really making fun. I just don't think it's the right way to go about it. I'm not going to I'm not going to do those kinds of things. I'm going to come at you with real research that I've done. So I'm doing what was asked during all this situation, right? Not only the people that believe this theory, but were asking me to do it, but other people were too, once they heard about it, right? So let me tell you a little backstory on that, just really, really quick too. You can't go watch the live stream now, but I don't fall into the hate of anything. I just want to say that, there was a stream that was done and, they made fun of me. I'll just put it to you that way. And not everybody, and I've already addressed this, there was somebody there that was actually, I don't, I don't know how to say this without just saying it, but told them exactly how I do things on my channel, right? I don't claim to know anything more than somebody else. Never have. I don't do any of that. I just tell you what I think is what's going on. But anyway, I ended up getting laughed at, not by that person, okay? Just so you know. It wasn't by that person. And then it was said, and I know this is probably here or there, but said the sentence that was said was, Wages World wouldn't know what a NASA link was if it was handed to him. When that was said, there's no other way to take that but somebody calling you stupid. Right? And flashing money around, and I just don't understand it. I've never done anything to those people ever. And I have to tell you, like I said, I'm a real person. It hurt my feelings, I guess, if you want to go that way with it. But that's not really why I'm doing this. I want you guys to understand that. I was already researching this. My research was actually already done when that happened. I had put off bringing this to you guys because of personal situations that were going on the internet, personally, with some of the people that believe this theory. So I was trying to respect them the best that I could and not bring out something against what they say in order not to add any extra stress. I mean, honestly, that's really why I did it. That's why I held off. And then this happened with John in Homebrew's channel, right? So I even held off ever since that happened, because I was actually going to talk about this a few weeks back, and I kind of held off. That, a couple reasons. That's part of the reason, but the other reason is I just simply didn't want to bring this out here. But I felt like I would not be sharing everything with you guys. So the theory is this, that a dark star has come with other planets or other whatever with it into our solar system, and it gotten close enough it has a strong enough magnetic field that it pulled Earth geographically. Okay, I'm not talking magnetically here, right? The magnetics would have moved too, but what I'm saying is geographically took our North Pole and took it from its 23.4 degrees tilt all the way down to 90 degrees. Okay, that's the beginning of the theory, right? Pretty much the whole theory there, really. That's a very basic way to say it. I get that there's a lot more to it. And I'll get into a little bit of that here in a minute. But the thing of what I'm talking about here basically is axial tilt. I went over this a long time ago. Well, probably about 6 months ago. And I didn't really put it with this theory, but that's where I got the research from. Okay? So, in other words, like I said, geographically, our North Pole got pulled down to 90 degrees. That's what the theory says. So, why did they say that? Well, because of a dark star in that system was supposed to be behind us, right? Coming into our solar system, and it affected Earth that way. How did they come to that decision? Well, I think it started with the moon. They say that the disk of the moon, okay, which the disk of the moon is nothing more than what you see from the ground. The face of the moon. It's not a disk. We know it's a sphere, but it looks like a disk from our perspective, right? They call the sun the same thing, the disk of the sun, when we're looking at sunspots. Well, let me go on, Allison, before you go that route, okay? Because like I said, guys, I'm not agreeing with this theory, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to show you why, okay? But again, this is not me. This is just me going at the theory. I don't, make fun of me, whatever you need to do. That's fine, okay? Honestly, and I don't hold any bad feelings, even to the people that did that to me. Okay, I don't. I don't know why they did that, but okay, and it's okay. It really is. But again, I'm a human, so it made me feel a certain way for a while. Again, I would be lying to you guys if I said it didn't bother me or at least hurt my feelings a little bit, right? Never feels good to get laughed at or called stupid, right? So that's, so I started getting into this theory, and I was researching it well before that even happened. So with that if it pulled us over 90 degrees, that's what the theory says. So, but they say that the moon, the disk, the field rotation, okay, when you look up at the moon at night from your naked eye, the moon will appear to actually roll like a clock. Or I think they call it cartwheeling, or I think that's the term that they're using. Rotate like a clock. Okay, we get what I'm saying. Spin, I guess, if you want to use those words. But if you go and you type in, say, field rotation into a Google search and relate it to Earth or the moon, you're going to get like rotational speed of the Earth and all this other kind of stuff, right? You have to really go down far on the list to find out what we're actually talking about. So the vocabulary there is kind of weird. So, if we got pulled down like that, okay, now the question was to me, and this is why I even started this at all, because they kept asking me my opinion on it and all this. The question was asked, do I ever remember the moon rolling that much ever? Because it does almost, depending on your latitude, it's significant, okay? It's a significant roll. Now, it's not just the moon. Let me take that right off the bat. What are you saying there, blind dude? Is somebody taking shots at you? I don't think so. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure he's okay. But listen to what I'm saying before you guys go down that road of what you're talking about in there, okay? Just listen to what I'm saying here. I know I'm taking a minute to get there, but I have to. Okay, no, okay. I just make sure he was okay. But anyway, they asked me if I remembered it rolling like that. My answer was no. Okay, it was. Straight up off the bat, no. I don't remember the moon rolling that much. But as I started researching this, you know what I realized? Nobody ever asked me if I remembered it not. So that's really where I really started digging into this, because I couldn't remember either way. I couldn't remember if that's what it looked like when I was a kid or it didn't. I just simply did not remember. Most of us, when we're kids, we're not looking up at the moon saying, oh my gosh, did you see that roll? We all know that the same face of the moon always faces the Earth, right? Most of us know that because the moon rotates at the exact same speed it orbits the Earth. It's part of the tidal lock thing. So, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, Anna. And again, just let me say what I need to say. And again, I will definitely, I respect everybody's opinion. I really do. So I just want to say that. And that's okay. I mean, I get, but let me show you what I got, okay? And I'm serious. I really do. I want, because there's a couple things that most absolutely would have to be answered if we're going to say the Earth is tilted to 90 degrees. Okay? Because it wouldn't be just the moon rolling, it would be the whole sky. And they've said that. They're not saying that ain't what's happening. And I'm not here saying that what we see isn't what we see, right? Yes, we're seeing that roll. My question is it normal? You know, I'm not going to come on here, and a lot of people have that have went into this research, went at it through an astrophotography mindset. I'm going at it different because I needed to know for myself what would be the most simple thing that I could point to or look at that would either prove or disprove what I'm saying. Right? So, all you have to do, guys, in order to say that what is the result of Earth tilt? Well, our seasons, number one, okay? So let me pull up some graphics here. I'm going to start Xing out of some stuff here real quick before we get moving. This is going to take me a minute, guys, so I'm sorry this is going to take me a while. But I want to make sure I do it right and do it the right way so you guys can understand it. That my position on what I'm saying is what I believe is going on. Okay? So let me do this real quick. I'm going to pull this over here. I know you guys can't see this right now, but let me go to full display. Okay. So somebody give me a 5 for 5 in there just to make, oops. That was crazy. I think we're okay, but you guys can see everything, right? Hey, Trish, what's up? And again, guys, I want to preface this by saying I respect everybody's right to have their own opinion. I really do. Okay? And I don't hold any bad feelings towards anybody on any of this. Just so everybody understands that. I'm not doing this for any other reason but to share what I think I've found and where I'm at in my own head with this. Okay? Are we getting bad comments already? Yeah, I mean, yeah, Mike, you're cool. Yeah, I don't know why George hid you. I'm not sure. But okay. Yeah, George, cut him some slack here a little bit. I think, guys, I said use your wrenches. That's fine. That's cool. I'm good with that. But just make sure that they're really being nasty. It's okay to have their own opinion. But anyway. So let me move forward with this and let you know what's going on with the way I look at things. So we're going to start here with I think this is the one. Is it this? I mean, that would probably work, but I don't really want to use this one. I'm just going to use this just for a real quick thing here. Actually, no, because it's actually pointing in the wrong direction from the way I want to show you. This is probably more so what I need you guys to see. Okay. Now, again, guys, go over here to NGSS Nerd. Check out this video. They did. I'm not going to play any of the audio or anything because I don't need to. But I want to show you guys what's going on. So they're taking the Earth here, right? And they're starting to map out things for you. You got the equator, southern, northern hemisphere. Most of us know this already, right? Now, one thing right now is the axis of the Earth is the imaginary line from north to south geographically. We rotate on that axis. So when I say the axis of the Earth geographically, that's what I mean. All right? So let me pull this forward a little bit. See, they added the axis there. See that? Now, they haven't tilted it yet, and they're going to. Right now, at any given time, half of the Earth is lit up by the sun, and half of the Earth is not. Night and day, right? So, and I know this is very basic, right? So if this is offending anybody for me going too basic here, I do apologize for that, but it's really the only way to do it. So, they tilted it. This is our tilt. It says 23.3, but it's more like 23.4 now, because it does move a little bit, and we'll get into that in a minute. But this right here is the exact reason why we have seasons. Okay, because this axis always points the same direction. So, and what I'm saying is, you see this axis right here? Okay, it's June, right? This is December. On the other side of the sun, look, it's still pointing the same direction. Our axis does not change in the way that it points. So wherever it goes and wherever it's at, it's always pointed the same direction, which is why we can use Polaris as the North Star. Right? So, and again, guys, I'm not really addressing the chat right now. As a matter of fact, I'm not even really looking at it. So, I'm going to take you guys here, let you guys see this part. See, they've got it rotating, right? So, and they're asking, they're just basically explaining seasons here. So, as we move forward, that's what happens. So, what would change? This is what we would consider normal tilt, right? So, let me do this. You guys see that, right? This is what it would look like. Okay? You're standing here. This is the North Pole. We're no longer 23. We've been tilted down 90 degrees on the ecliptic, our orbital line around the sun. So what's that mean? We're still rotating around our axis this way. So that means that any given time, half the Earth's lit up, right? So in the wintertime, if we've tilted even 20, 30 extra degrees, the amount of daylight hours you will see would drastically change. Immediately. You would not have to go outside. You wouldn't have to look. You wouldn't have to do nothing but open your curtain and notice that the sun never went down. Because that's what would happen here. For months on end, you would have 3 to 4 months, especially right here close to the North Pole, that the sun would never set. And then vice versa, on the other side, on the South Pole, these areas would never see the sun. It would be dark for that same amount of time. This right here would have to be explained in order for me to even come anywhere close to saying our axial tilt has been tilted like that. So, and that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and I'm not, like I said, yeah. I mean, you've got your research that you're doing, and I honestly, I really do respect that. I really do, Anna. It's not anything other than. But, you know, and again, guys, I'm not doing anything but showing you my own research. And these are the questions that I would need answered for myself. Okay, now, there's a video that I can show you guys here in just a minute. I'm going to try to anyway. But notice, guys, I mean, as we go forward here, so this would be summertime, June. This would be wintertime, December. So when this happened, they say this happened back in 2010, right? So it's been 10 and a half years that our axis has been on its side like this. That's what the theory is. And, you know, what I'm saying is, guys, this would be an immediate thing. There would be absolutely no question. Absolutely no question. Nobody would have to tell you that something was wrong. You would have literally four months. And I'm not trying to lie. I'm really not laughing. I'm chuckling because I don't like talking about this. Because I know there's people out there that really strongly disagree. I don't know how they could disagree with this part of it. But again, I'm just going through what I found out and what I think I've found. And this is where I went, right? So again, we all have to agree that half of the time the Earth's lit up, half the time it's not. Night and day, right? The amount of daylight hours we get is dependent upon the tilt of our axis. 100% the tilt of our axis. So if you're standing here and we're down 90 degrees, you're most definitely getting sunlight, never going down because we're rotating this way. Right? So that's one thing, right? And I've already talked about this axial tilt a little bit before. Matter of fact, I think I did a video on it a while back. So what I'm saying is, guys, there's places on, this is what got me thinking about this was this. Let me show you this real quick. Here. Okay, there are businesses that run their business, tourist businesses, off of the 24-hour sun phenomenon. What is that? Well, there's places on our planet that experience 24 hours of daylight. They call it the midnight sun. All right, and then on the opposite end, they would get 24 hours of darkness. There are hotels, tourist places here that run their businesses and have been well before 2010. Okay, and nothing's changed for these people at all. Period. Okay. So just understand that. There's nothing there. These people have been running their business for decades. And the amount of daylight hours, they've never not experienced it when they said they were going to experience it. So in order for this to have changed, all this stuff would have to change. And what I just showed you a minute ago would have to change. All of that would have to change. And none of that can be explained. So I guess, and again, I don't want to go through with the telescope thing, but here's actually another video that will tell you what would happen if we were on our side. Okay, I'm going to let it do its freaking ad. I hate this crap, but okay. I don't want to run the whole thing. All right, I'm not going to just show you the video. Go over here and check them out. Because I don't, they did the work here, so they deserve the traffic. But, okay, so here's the video. Now, I want to show you, do you see what happened right there? Let me run that back. Okay, it's thought, now look, it's thought that when we started out, our axis was up, straight up and down. And then it says something hit us or something happened to our planet that tilted us to where we're at. 23.4. Now, I'm not going to get into what happened there or whatever. At this point, it doesn't matter to this theory, right? So as I go forward here, they're going to tell you and show you what happens on its side. That's what we would be doing. Okay, there's the normal tilt. Okay, you see what's happening? That's why you're getting seasons, because you're getting a different amount of degree of sunlight direct. Now this is what I want to show you. You see this? This is telling you here in the Arctic Circle, during this time of year, they get 24 hours of daylight for however many days, right? But it's, first off, let me point out that it's not directly pointed at the sun. You take this 90 degrees, it's going to be direct rays of the sun, right? So as you go down towards the equator, what's going to happen? You're going to get a decreased amount of hours of daylight. Now you go to the other side, this is reversed from the South Pole up. When you go from, this would be 24 hours of daylight, this would be summertime in the northern hemisphere. Okay? You go to the other side, it's going to be wintertime, and the South's going to get the majority of the daylight hours. So what I'm saying is, when you look at the latitude here, I don't know what the exact latitude lines are here, but that's probably what, if we go from the equator, 1, 2, 3, it's roughly 10 to 15 degrees latitude, I guess. So if we tilt 10 degrees, that's it. That's all I'm saying. It's 10 more degrees. Guess what? The amount of daylight hours you're going to see is going to change drastically just with that little bit of extra tilt. We're talking hours a day. Every day. Until we get another position around in our orbit and things start to move around. It's always moving. So let me take this a little bit forward, and they're going to show you exactly what's going on. So they even put up right here in Alaska. Watch what happens. See the daylight? See the darkness? Watch what happens when this tilts. Yeah, I think they're getting ready to tilt it. Sorry, it's taking a minute, but here's the United States. What? Okay, let me do this real quick. Picture where you're at in the United States right now. And James, if you're still listening to me, I'm only saying this because you're in my chat. I've never done or said anything directly to you. Okay? Ever. Ever. So don't come here on my channel and do that. It's ridiculous. Okay? It really is. I respect people. That's exactly what I'm talking about, guys. No respect there at all. I've never went to his channel ever and did anything like that. I don't think I've ever even commented in his chat. Just so you know. Okay? It's okay, CW. No, don't worry about it. I told you guys that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about right there. We'll get to all that, Arky, here in a minute. Okay? So I'm explaining the Earth tilt thing here. So as I'm moving, picture where you're at in the United States. Now what they're going to do is they're going to pull this down to 90 degrees. Now look where you're at. Do you guys see this? So now you were here getting this amount of daylight hours, whatever section you're in. Now you're tilted down this way, and the daylight hours are going to change drastically. Look, for months at a time, that's what it would be. And over here, so it's getting so hot, the North Pole, they say, would have temperatures greater than what's at the equator right now. Yeah. And this is just me talking about Earth tilt. I'm not even on any other part of the thing here. Okay? So as you move forward here, And it goes over. Now, this is a big thing here, guys. North Pole would see those temperatures. Here's one thing that would happen. The glaciers would melt. We're not talking just like in a 10-year period. We're talking really, really quick like. So when the North Pole glaciers melt, every coastline in the world would flood. Okay? Would flood 7 meters. Look what happens. See that? Now what's going to blow your mind is when the planet gets to the other side on the orbit where the South Pole's facing the sun, which is where 90% of the glaciers are. Watch this. So now the South Pole's experiencing it. Watch what happens. So the glaciers start to melt because the temperature starts to rise, right? 90% of the glacier ice is on the South Pole, in the South Hemisphere, the Antarctic, right? Check this out. Look, 61 meters. 61. Okay? Look at that. Compared to 7 from the north. So what do you think is going to happen if we get 61 meters ocean height rise? Is anybody going to miss that? That's taller than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. These are the things that would happen if this was actually going on. Okay? So that's kind of what I'm saying. So, yeah, is Bubba in here? Bubba News, you in here, bud? I didn't see you. Did you get your channel axed or something? So, yeah, guys, I mean, as you move this over, what happens then? I mean, every coastline in the world floods like that. Yeah, guys, I mean, again, guys, you have to ask yourself when somebody pops in the chat and says that about somebody they've never even personally spoke to. You have to ask, why are they doing that? I don't tell you guys what channels to go to or what not to. You guys are smart enough to understand that. The person that just did that obviously thinks that you're not. Just saying. And again, I'm just going to move past it, but I want you guys to understand that's the kind of crap I'm talking about. Does he have a new channel, AB? Yeah, Allison, I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is that, oh, okay, Bubba, okay. Oh, wow. It's hard to see. Oh, is that, so I'm on the short bus? Is that what you're saying? Okay, now listen to me, guys, what I'm getting ready to say here. Don't axe him out of there. Let him in there. Okay? No, that's fine. He can say that all he wants. Did you hear what he just said? Here, I'll show you guys. I'll show you. You are not the problem. Get the backstory. You're the short bus. Then he laughs at me, right? I have more subs than you ever will. That right there says it all. He's so concerned to the point where he's going to put it in there like that about his subscriber count. That right there shows you his motive. Okay? Just saying. All right? I'm going to point that out every time because that's what that is. That right there, that one comment right there says it all. I'm not here for subscriber count. Hey, James, one thing I would say, go find the monetization button on my channel. You won't find it. Why is that? Because I don't have one. Can you say the same? So don't question my motives on that. Your motive is very, very clear with statements like that. And this is why I leave those kinds of comments up, guys. Notice that he isn't even banned yet. You know, he wants to come in here and talk stupid to somebody and call somebody names except for me. Obviously, I'll have to let him go. But, I mean, I'm not going to let him, go at anybody else in here. He could come at me all day long. You guys know I let that happen every day, all day. Doesn't matter. Because the fact of the matter is, the truth doesn't need defended. And when somebody doesn't, like this right here, he doesn't even understand, well, I shouldn't even say it. The difference between a solar flare and a CME. But yeah, he wants to try to educate you on something like that. Yeah, guys, you guys know I don't typically do that kind of thing. But I've never even said anything about him, ever. You know, I'll show certain things when things are wrong. But that's okay. Yeah, so I mean, he'll be back in here in 5 minutes. It's okay, man. Go for it. Go for it. There's not a, like I said. Yeah. I know. No, it's actually not a distraction in this particular conversation because it's actually part of it. And this is what I say about be cautious of who and what you're listening to, because it's not really about them getting the science wrong or anything like that. You just know the exact motive when they say things like that, right? We'll go back up to it for a minute. I have more subs than you ever will. So he's judging the success of my channel off of the subscriber count that I have. I judge the success of my channel by the connection I have with the people that are here. And I've said this almost every video. And telling me to get on a short bus, first of all, that's pretty disrespectful for anybody that actually has real issues in that area, number one. I'm sure there's probably somebody listening to me that has somebody in their family that has some real issues. And you took a shot at me on something like that and used that? Really? So, I just don't even know what to say to that, to be honest. I can tell you this much. I'd rather be on this bus than yours. Or that bus that you just said. That is no joke. Just saying. That was so disrespectful in so many certain ways towards not even just me. Man. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay, AB. It's all right, man. Honestly. I really, truly do pray for people. And, I pray for people like him. I don't hate the man. Again, I might not agree with what he says or does, but it is what it is, All right, so let's move on. And again, it's okay. I'll say it one more time, and I'm going to show this comment one more time because I want you guys to know what's happening right there. This is what we run into a lot. It's not about, people are judging the success of their channel by the amount of subscribers that they have. This is proof of it right there. I have more subs than you ever will. To be honest with you, I don't even know how many subs you have. But it's okay. Whatever. I don't care. I care about the people that are here talking to me right now. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, yeah, George, I know. Again, guys, I'm not trying to tell you what to do on that end of it. I never will. You know, obviously he has a certain way to feel about me, even though I've never said anything to him. So, anyway, let's just move on. So that's the axis part of it, guys. That's why I don't think that that's what's happened with the axis. All right. You know, again, people can, if somebody can explain to me how we can tilt to 90 degrees and not have those conditions, right? If somebody can show me how that's possible, I'll take another look at it. I just don't think it's possible. Just is. Just saying. So, let's, Skywalker. Yeah. Okay, guys. Seriously, guys, let's just let that go. It's all right. I really, truly, it's okay. Honestly, I don't want to spread hate, and that's why I'm going to stop. I probably shouldn't even addressed it like that, but it is what it is. So, what's up, Jedi Skywalker? What's happening? Yeah, 90 degrees is a little bit, yeah. So, I mean, and so let me, I guess I do want to show you one more thing on the axial tilt thing. I think I had it here in this folder. Hang on. Is it going to pop up or what? Let's take that off there. There it is. Okay. There is I think it might be this one. Okay, yeah. So let me explain to you what this channel is, and you guys should go check him out, okay? It says Artifixian, right? What he does is, I think he makes like either video games or does stuff with movies and things like that. But they try to get things accurate as far as scientific as they can, right? Without going too far with it. So when they're doing this, they call it world building, right? So he's explaining to you exactly what I just showed you guys. But he's got this, he runs this little thing right here. See the degree of sun angle? But while I'm showing you guys could go watch this, and then this will explain pretty much everything I just showed you guys, right? But what I want to show you is he's trying to decide, you know, what is too far. Because actually, if you think about it, and he goes over this, and I'm not going to get into it because it does take a lot of explanation. But if we tilt down 90 degrees like that, our equator actually changes. So I'm not going to get into that right now. But he goes into that. Now let me show you this. He actually shows a peer-reviewed paper. And again, I'm not going to get, I'm sure, I can't find it right now. But he shows a peer-reviewed paper what would be possible. Because he makes a planet here that's 60 degrees. Right? But he tells you that there's a paper, I forget who the scientist was that did it, but it was peer-reviewed. Just so everybody understands that. That means that a lot of other people, a lot of other highly educated scientists looked at it and basically signed off on it. Basically, it gets put out to the scientific community and they go over it and gets very highly scrutinized. But anyway, it's thought that a human could not, or even life, see it says habitable right here, 0 to 80 degrees. Anything more than 80 degrees is not inhabitable. And that ain't just because he's saying it right here. It's this paper right there. Right here. Habitable Planets for Man. Stephen H. Dole. Right there. Go check it out. Go read that. That's a peer-reviewed paper. You guys can go check that out. That's another resource you can. I would highly suggest go over here and checking out this video, Artifexian. Matter of fact, I've done this before, just so everybody understands. Paste. There. Okay. Now, I do want to say one more thing. This is another subject that nobody has brought to the table when we're talking about this. And what subject is that? That would be the subject of sundials. Okay? I would highly suggest that anybody that thinks that we've tilted that far to simply go look at the thousands and thousands of existing sundials that have been there for thousands of years still work. If we had tilted like I just said, none of these sundials would work. So that would be something else that would have to be explained to me, right? And I'm just bringing you what because I don't want to go down the you go, Rippy. Yeah. So just so you understand, right? And these are really simple things. And I went this route because I want everybody to be able to do this without going down any kind of really high technical, whatever you want to say that you understand, right? I want anybody and everybody to be able to say, hey, that sundial doesn't work. Why isn't it working? Or, hey, all the sundials on the planet are still working. What does that mean? Right? So, yeah, Carmen, for sure. Yeah. But, like I said, there's some sundials that have been there for hundreds of years, right? I think even thousands. And you guys can go down here and you can look. You can see every sundial in, they plot them everywhere. They're all over the place, right? And they've been there for hundreds and thousands of years. Not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds of years. So this is why I'm saying this, right? So I hope you understand. And this can't be explained. If we had tilted down like that, even 10, 20, 30 degrees, none of the sundials would work, guys. They wouldn't work. So, and that's kind of what I'm saying. These are the really simple things that I would need explained to me before I could even go any further than that. Because the foundation of the theory is that the Earth tilted down that far. I can't see it. And if I'm wrong, I really truly want to know. I'm really going at this like that. But after I did my research and stuff, this is just where I have fallen. I really have. This is where I'm at. So, and again, guys, I don't expect anybody to believe what I'm saying. I want you guys to go look for yourself. And that's exactly what was asked of me. And that's what I did. Even though I don't agree with the other side of it, it doesn't mean that I have any ill feelings towards those people at all. Period. So, the other thing that was said, even in that video that you can't watch now because the channel's been taken down, is the fact that I guess I wouldn't know what a NASA link was if it was handed to me. Because there's something around this, and I'm not going to get into details because I don't care about this part of it. Offering money or something for a NASA link that's showing that what we see with the moon and stuff is normal. And again, I don't care about that. I honestly don't. I don't yeah. I'm not driven by that. Just so everybody understands, I don't care about that. I wouldn't even if it was accepted by who was doing this and they tried to give me money or whatever, I wouldn't take it. Simple as that. Not that that would ever happen. I'm just saying, yeah. But, so, let me show you why, and I'm going to go here first. This is moon vocabulary. And there's a lot of stuff here that I want to unpack. And there's a lot of definitions here, guys. I'm not going to go into all of them. Okay? But I do want to go, first off, I'm going to go here. Here. This is the better way to show it to you guys. Okay? So, this is basically moon phases, and one of the moon phases is called a waxing moon. Waxing is maxing, right? That's what it's saying here. The other way that you can think about it is wax on, wax off, just like the movie, right? Karate Kid. When the moon is in the waxing phase, it's growing with light until a full moon is reached. And then a waning is the opposite. It's losing light until, I think it's new moon, and then it goes back the other direction or whatever. So, when we look up, the moon doesn't go from wax to wane when it rolls like that. The termination line never changes. The termination line is where the shadow ends, right? So, waxing and waning does not happen. Okay, it might be a little, I just want people to understand that. I mean, I'm not trying to be semantical here, but I do want people to understand that the moon doesn't go from wax to wane. Yes, the disk rolls, but the termination line is rolling with it. So that's kind of what I want to say here on that part of it. I want you guys to understand that. Because that does get said quite a bit about a waxing moon, wax to wane. And I think it might be just something that's being said just because it's easier for people to understand that they're trying to show you that the moon's rolling, right? And I'm not arguing. I agree that that's what we see. We see that roll. Now, I want to show you guys this. This is the definition of parallactic angle. Why is this important? Well, because this is what gives you your field rotation. Notice what it says. Spherical astronomy, or even spherical geometry, you can do the same kinds of things. I'm not going to, this is the definition. So, the parallactic angle is the angle between the great circle, and I know this is going to be a lot of word salad right here, but listen, through a celestial object and the zenith, and the hour circle of the object. It's usually denoted by Q in the equations. Okay, there's a lot of mathematics stuff here. Right? And I'm not going to bore you guys with mathematics, but that's really how this is proven. Now, if you guys want to know, like, that's parallactic angle. That angle is what determines how much field rotation you see. So, let me back off of that a minute, and I have another graphic to show you. Is it in this one? I'm not sure if it's in that one or not. Sorry about that, guys. Phase, direction, rotation, linear disk. Is this it, maybe? Okay. I will show you this one real quick. Okay. What this is this is just a website or whatever. It's skylights.org. What this is, there was a question that was asked to this guy, and he goes into explaining quite a few things here. But let me show you what I'm talking about here. This right here is going to show you what the moon does through the night. At like a mid-latitude down towards the equator. Watch what happens here. See what's happening? Notice this termination line's not moving. The moon itself appears to be rolling which is not really a roll. It's a, no, I didn't see gender. It's us rotating, guys. Okay? The sky's not rolling. It's us rotating and making it appear. Who, Senator Welch? Oh, okay. Marshall on standby for a live. Cool. Who's throwing shade? You throwing shade, Jennifer? Just kidding. Did I miss something, or was that what you were trying to say, Joanna? Let me know. Hey, Anna, what's up? Yeah, that Common Core, or that core curriculum stuff was bad for us, for our kids, I think. But anyway. Sorry, Brandy, I'm not trying to make it that hard, and that's why I tried. Oh, okay. Okay, Jennifer. We're good. We're good. I just want to make sure I didn't miss somebody's question. But yeah, so if you're down like in mid-latitudes, which would be like where most people on the planet live in what we call mid-latitudes, because that's the best climate, right? So that showed you what the moon does and how the termination line doesn't change on the moon. We're the ones rotating. It makes it appear that the sky is, right? One thing I do want to show you right here, when the moon's right above us, what's happening? It's straight up and down, isn't it? That's important because if we tilted, that wouldn't be happening. Just so you know. This termination line would be not here. It would appear to be somewhere else. And at least from the way I understand it. Now, so if you go and you stand on the North Pole, this is what you're going to see. You guys see this? Why does that happen? Well, it's that parallactic angle, guys. That's field rotation. And it adjusts by whatever latitude you're on. It's moving just a little bit, but it's not moving hardly enough to notice it. And the reason why is because you're standing right on the top of the axis of the Earth. So when you're spinning on that, say you got a top and you're spinning the top on the table. You can put your finger right on top of right in the middle, can't you? And it doesn't hardly move, does it? Pull your finger out to the side where the top is as it's moving at the same speed, and watch how far your arm has to move to keep up with it. That's exactly what our planet's doing. So if you're standing at the North Pole, that's what the moon's going to look like through the night. Okay? South Pole also, depending on where you're at. And if you're not, as you get down towards mid-latitudes, the further south you go towards the equator, the more of this roll you're going to see. Now, so why does that change? When you look at it there is hemisphere-specific views. If you go south of the equator, the moon's going to look like it's upside down. Because the moon essentially is orbiting the Earth on that plane, right? And I'm not going to go into too much detail with that, but so let me show you this, and again, I'll show you this part of it again. Okay. Oh, that's what I wanted to show you. Thanks, Bamboo. Okay. So I want to show you this too, okay, before I get into the NASA thing. First thing I want to show you is, look, this is NASA, right? This is a PBS website. You can launch this. So as soon as you get there, you can move you're standing right here, right? Here's the moon, and it's going to show you what's going on above your head, up here. So let me rotate that through till we can see the moon. Look what's happening. See that rotation? That's the same thing that we were seeing. So this is NASA saying that's what we see from the Earth. I mean, there's not a specific latitude here. They're just showing you kind of a general, like, mid-latitude view right here. And it's not specific. So I don't hold this any kind of, like, high regard research at all, period. Because this is meant to show kids what's going on. That's why it's PBS. Teachers use this. I didn't even know this existed until I was watching some of this theory on one of the channels, and they actually showed this. So, yeah, that's where I found that at. But that is NASA. That's a NASA thing. And I know I keep bringing NASA because they say that that's what they want. So I was trying to give them what they want. You know, I'm trying to give them a NASA link or NASA saying that, hey, what we see is normal. As far as, hey, the field rotation hasn't changed. So as I keep moving on here, let me show you this. This is MoonCalc, okay? This is not NASA. But this is, I think it's a college that runs this, if I believe. What this is, guys, as you get to the equator, like I said, the field rotation increases. You'll see more of a roll. What they've done here, you can click anywhere on here. This is basically your parallactic angle. Watch it narrow as I go towards the North Pole. See that? Okay, so we'll try to get close. That's 2 degrees north. Okay, that's pretty close to the equator. So next thing I want to show you, you see this right here, this little graphic? That's the termination line on the moon. This is a 24-hour time frame. I'm going to grab this scroll mark, and I want you to watch this. Watch what happens. Okay, so I'll start here. See the termination line? Watch what happens through the course of 24 hours. Watch it roll. They're showing you, and you can actually see it. If I was just to push play, I'm not sure if I can do that. I've never done that here. You will see that the rotation will actually speed up a little bit and slow down depending on your location on the planet. Because as it gets closer to your zenith from your viewpoint, it will speed up some. And then it will start to slow back down as it goes on the other side of you. The amount of roll you see. So you're going to see a bunch of roll when it's out like close to the top of its orbit. And then you're going to see not so much as it goes off the horizon. It speeds up a little bit. And that's because that we're rotating. We're rotating. The moon's not. Not from our viewpoint. The sky's not either. That's what I'm trying to say. We're the ones moving. So why does this angle change? Well, it doesn't just change north to south. It changes east to west too. The time matters. Because if the moon's here, say the moon's right here, you're right here, unless you believe in flat earth, you're not moving on a straight line. You're changing your distance from the moon as we rotate. So that changes this angle a little bit. That's why you see a little bit more movement. Yeah. So, but that's, again, and like I said, guys, I didn't specifically go straight to NASA or anything. That's what's been asked of us to do. Just so you understand that. I want you guys to get that. You know? And I want to say this too. I'm not red-pilled. I'm not blue-pilled. I said this a bunch. I am purple-pilled. What does that mean? That means I hold no expectations on either side. I don't discount new things. I have an open mind. And I don't discount things that have been taught to me in my past. I prove them all out in my own mind. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Matter of fact, I would suggest everybody do that. Because if you don't, then you got to completely forget everything you've ever learned. ever. There has to be a balance there that only you can find for yourself. I can't find that for you. But for me, I go into things like this with a completely open mind. After I realized, hey, I don't remember what the moon was doing, whether it was rolling or not, when I asked myself both questions, you know what I did? I quit talking about this subject with anybody. I didn't want to be influenced one way or the other. That's why. Okay? So this is just me doing my research. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that. Now, back to, I don't know what a NASA link is. There are lots of things I can show you here. Let's do this. I think there was one more thing I wanted to show you on let's see here. Man, I want to know where I put that at. I can't find it. I don't know why. These are a lot of abstract papers I could take you guys back to. This is NASA, right? These are actually physical textbooks that you can purchase. Okay? This one's actually NASA telling you what to do with your telescopes as far as having to adjust for this parallactic angle. They use the exact same math I'm getting ready to show you. And they've been using it since the early 1920s, from far as I can tell. Even though NASA wasn't even there, other agencies and other colleges and stuff were doing the same thing. So let's, I don't even know what this is. We'll take a look at it, see what it is. I can't remember what this is. Oh, yeah. So that's actually showing astrophotography. If you took a long exposure without any correction for parallactic angle, just constant pictures, like if you pointed your camera at a star and just took constant pictures or video, this is what it would look like without taking in consideration field rotation. That's what that is, but I'm not going to go into that. But it's actually a good way to show you that we're not the ones rotating. They are. Or we're the ones rotating, not the sky. I said that backwards. Oh, that's the same one. Okay. So, maybe it's on this one. Maybe it's in this one. Come on. Oh, okay. Yeah, right here. Check this out. Okay, I was trying to find simple stuff that everybody can do. This is called the horn method. All right, if you're in the northern hemisphere and you look up at the moon, you draw a straight line from like this crescent moon. No matter what time of night it is, it will point towards the south. This is something they've been doing for, gosh, I can't even tell you how back far, right? They call it the horn method. Now, it's not going to be an exact pinpoint because it's going to change a little bit depending on where you're standing, okay? But this is something they did back in the day. This is how they knew, they would use the North Star, but they could actually tell south if you're in the northern hemisphere by using this method. Because as the moon rotates through the sky like this, that line is basically pivoting off of that same point. Okay? So you guys can do that yourself. You guys can walk outside, just like, we tell everybody to do anyway, and you can look at that yourself, and you can test that out yourself. So I would, take a look at that. If I was you guys, just Google it. How to tell direction by using the moon. Right? Because back in the day, sailors and stuff used celestial objects to navigate, and they still use the same celestial navigational tools when, like, their technology goes down. If all this stuff had changed, they wouldn't be able to do that. But they can. And again, I'm not no expert on that, so I don't even want to talk into that. That's not mine. I'm not no expert in any of this. I'm just showing you my research. Those are simple things like the sundial and that right there, what I showed you guys. But now let me get you into a little bit more of a whatever here. And then I'm going to end this video because, to be honest with you guys, I hate talking about this. I really do. I hate this. I just wanted to try to make it something simple you guys could look at. If we had tilted, what happens? Well, the amount of daylight hours would change immediately. No question. The whole world would know it. So unless somebody can explain to me how that's not true, then I would need, I need that to be able to understand. And nobody's been able to give that to me. But so let me show you this real quick. And then we'll, again, guys, I'm just going to end it after this. I think it's here. Okay, so again, guys, I went to moon dial, or dial a moon. And let me, I guess I should bring that up first. Show you what that is. Is this it? Oh, I wanted to show you this too. Okay. This right here, well, I'll just put it in here and you guys can go look at it yourself. This is a direct NASA link. Okay? That tells you, this is before 2010. I want to point that out. That tells you this is the amount of parallactic angle and what we should see. Right? If you guys go run the math right now, this is all the same. So this is a NASA link telling you that it was the same then. Here's some of the math. See it? And I'm going to encourage you guys to go do the math. I'm not going to do it because I'm telling you right now, unless you did it for yourself, if you just watch me do it, you probably wouldn't understand it all that well. Because it's not, it's not extremely hard math, but it is math. And it's not like elementary math. And that's why I tried to find things that were more simple. But this is a NASA link showing you that in 2007, this was the parallactic angle that they would expect to see. And it's the same as if you did it today. So that is NASA telling you that the parallactic angle hasn't changed. So I just don't know where to go with this, guys. I really don't. Hey, Daniel, what's up, bud? Yeah, I hate, God dang it. I don't like doing this at all. I really don't. Because I think that good people, damn it. Anyway, I got to finish. So, so as I was researching this, I was typing in to the search engines. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to get like that. It upsets me a little bit because I don't want to cause any problems for anybody else. So please don't go give anybody hate or anywhere. I just don't want that. But anyway, through my research, I was researching and I would type in field rotation. Well, at some point, after I was trying to, get a good example of what was going on and how I could do this and see if what I was seeing was what I was seeing and everything else. Well, this is parallactic angle, right? So you guys can look at this. This will actually show you exactly the math that I'm talking about. This is called the celestial sphere. And, you know, if you really want to know the ins and outs, please go read all this because it does explain it. Okay, so this would be the Earth, right? This is the celestial sphere. Now, again, this would be imaginary lines. You have to understand that, okay? Just like our axis is imaginary. Our northern axis would be the northern celestial pole if you stretch it on out further, right? So if you're standing right here and this is the object you're looking at, the parallactic angle is this. That parallactic angle right there decides how much field rotation you see. And it never stays the same because we're constantly moving. Right? So you're here, object is here. Notice the north is here. So that's the angle that we're talking about. And, you know, this angle continually changes because I know that was a point that was brought to me that, well, that shouldn't change. The moon should stay, you know, doing what it's doing at all times. Well, it's not the case because if you take yourself here, and remember you're on a sphere, you roll back this way, you're changing your distance and your location because we're tilted. We're not straight up and down. So that angle changes. Has to. And that's kind of what I'm saying, guys. I just want you guys to understand that part. Now, I know that is something that, you know, you would really have to dig into this to understand it like I have. I spent a year doing this. Honestly. I really have. And I'm not saying that I am any expert at all on this. I'm just showing you what I've found. That's it. Dead serious, guys. I stop right there. I really do. But, so let me take you back to this. Okay? Dial-a-Moon. Dial-a-Moon is NASA's tool, right? And it shows you the moon. Actually, we're going to go there. Okay? Yeah, that's not a link. Hold on a minute. Well, shoot. Let's just do it this way. I don't know why I don't have Dial-a-Moon there. I could have swore I did. Maybe, no, it's not there. Let's just do it this way. Oops. Okay. So what are we looking at here? This is NASA's tool Dial-a-Moon. Now the question was, you know, when NASA shows you this, because you can enter your month, your day, and your hour. Why would they need your hour? Because that's important. Because that tells you where you're at rotating. That affects the parallactic angle. That's why. But that's not why they're showing it to you on this. Okay? Now, when you're looking at this, you're not looking from a ground-based viewpoint here. What you're looking at is, this is a LRO, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. It is a satellite that orbits the moon. And it uses lasers that bounce off the surface of the moon, and it gives them really high-grade, very, very exact imaging. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to show you here. So this is Dial-a-Moon. And it won't show you field rotation. It always shows you with the moon facing this direction. And I'll explain to you why here in a minute. But notice this name right here, Ernie Wright. Visualizations by Ernie Wright. This guy's head of the NASA Visualization Department. Okay? So as I'm researching all this, I'm looking for, you know, even though I had a bunch of links and stuff I could have been throwing around, I just don't do that. It's just not me. But if you scroll down to the bottom of the page here, after you get through all the stuff I just showed you, you will find this. Visualization credits. This is, again, all these people. But if you keep going down, there is a place where basically you can send NASA an email and ask them questions. So that's what I did. I was like, you know what? What can hurt? What can hurt about me emailing NASA? I had no expectations of getting any kind of response. I just really didn't. And I'm not saying it's bad or good either way. I'm just saying that, any big organization, somebody is hillbilly like me, I guess, doesn't expect a response, right? Well, much to my surprise, I got a response. And it came in the form of a few emails that was, this is from NASA here. This is Caleb Berry, all right? That was who I was contacting back and forth here. Notice the date. That's back in September 9th. This tells you how long. Now, I contacted her, or I tried to contact NASA about a month and a half before this. It might have even been 2. So the correspondence back and forth was not really quick, but it was quicker than I ever thought it could be. But anyway, she goes on to explain Dalamoon to me, right? So, and she talks about the alt-as mounted telescopes on Earth. That alt-as is important because that's what they use to correct for field rotation. Now, I know that's an astrophotography thing, but, it is what it is. I haven't used any astrophotography to show you guys anything. I tried not to because the people that have talked about this before really said some things that had my chin hitting the floor. Just so you know, I couldn't believe they were saying that we shouldn't see the field rotation that we are seeing. It's very obvious. You go outside, you look up, everybody can do it. Again, I'm not questioning that that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that, right? But anyway, let me read this to you. So she's telling me she's not the head of this department. She forwarded this email to none other than Ernie Wright. Who's Ernie Wright? The guy I just showed you over on Dalamoon. He made the stinking tool. He was ahead of that, making that tool. And now he's talking to me. I was just like, what? But anyway, I'll just leave that at that. I was really shocked, to be honest with you, that I'm even getting any kind of response at all. I'm not saying good or bad one way or the other. I'm just saying I really was shocked that I was getting any response whatsoever. But as we look forward here, here, Caleb forwarded your question to me. I make the Dalamoon images. He just flat says it. As she said, these are computer-generated images using data from the LRO, right? The amount, now listen, this is important. This is what we're talking about. The amount of roll or field rotation is called the parallactic angle. Okay? And I can show you papers from NASA back in the 60s using the same verbiage. So that is exactly what we're talking about. I can show you that they use the same exact math back that far to figure the parallactic angle. Okay? So usually denoted by the letter Q, he even says it right here. It's an unfortunate name because it has nothing to do with parallax. It doesn't. I talked about parallax earlier. When you're looking at a sphere, things that are on the side of that sphere are going to look smaller from your point of view than what they would if they were in the middle. That's parallax. But this is parallactic angle, which has nothing to do with parallax. It's crazy, but that's the way it's working. It's just the angle of the object relative, now listen, this is important, to the local horizon, your horizon, or the zenith, okay? But it amounts to the same thing, horizon and zenith. The formula is a little complicated, but check this out. But it looks like this. He gives me the math right here. It's the same math you can go look at on the papers, the peer-reviewed papers from NASA for decades. Okay? The amount of roll or field rotation, I already read that to you. And it tells you what the math is here. Now, he tells you exactly what to do here. If the object is on the horizon, you don't need to know its hour angle. So he's eliminating some of the math that you have to do if you go out and look at it on the horizon. Okay? And I'm explaining this to you because if you want to go do this, you can do this. And it works. So, this is why I'm showing it to you. I mean, this is like a huge step way further than a NASA link. I mean, this is somebody that does everything there and is just telling me exactly what's going on. But anyway, says you can, now listen, this is important too. You can photograph the moon right after moonrise or just before moon set. Then you rotate that dial of moon image. Okay, you take a screenshot of the dial of moon image. You put it into either like Microsoft Paint 3D or like a Photoshop or whatever photo editing you have. And then by using Q, that angle that you just figured out, and you rotate the dial of moon image to that degree, it will match exactly what you look at up in the sky. So, says now, my other question was, why don't you guys show that? Well, he answers that right here. Dial of moon always shows the moon with celestial north up. Okay? With the way dial of moon works, we can't show everybody their local parallactic angle because it's different for everybody. It is from your perspective. This is why they can't show you that. That's what I'm trying to say. But he's telling you how to prove that everything is the same. Plus, I have to go back. It says the moon, again, he says exactly what I said earlier. The moon isn't the only thing in the sky that appears to roll. In fact, everything does. You can go watch Orion, which actually is a very good way to see the whole sky rolling, in December and January, And again, guys, remember, if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's going to be opposite if you go south of the equator. Everything you see is going to be upside down. And it is that parallactic angle. Okay? So, just want to say that. Sorry. You wish for snow? Yeah. Okay. So, that is direct email correspondence with the guy that made the tool. And then he goes on to tell you what else you can go look at, right? All these other things that's going on. So I did all that just to show you guys that not only did, I understand what a NASA link is, guys. And I hate to keep going back to that, but it really did. I don't want to say it offended me, but it more hurt my feelings when that was said. I just got to be honest. Okay? And that's what it is. I'm being honest with you there. That flat hurt my feelings when somebody tells me that I'm not smart enough to know what a NASA link is. And the whole time that was being said, I had all that stuff right there. I put this off for months. You seen when that was back in September. So I just don't know what else to say here, guys. And that's really where I'm going to end this. And I know this was a long thing. I intended for this to, how long have we been going? Got to be a couple hours anyway. Let's find out. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, 2.5 hours. Pretty long live stream. So I apologize for the long live stream, but I don't think I could have done this in any shorter amount of time. And I know that, yeah, and it's unfortunate that What's-His-Face came in here and did what he did. I'm not going to attack. I don't want anybody else to go attack, please. You're welcome, CW. But again, I feel sorry. I feel bad that I couldn't bring you guys more videos the past couple weeks. Back at you, Pamela. I just don't want people to go, just because of the way I showed you research. I don't want any bad stuff to go to somebody else's channel or anything like that. And again, I would say to the guys that, I don't subscribe to cancel culture. So please, even though I don't agree with the science that is being talked about on this theory, I in no way, shape, or form support somebody trying to shut down another channel. Like what happened to Homebrew. That was wrong. Sorry. Just was. He has every right to be able to voice what he thinks is the truth. Just like anybody else does. And for him to, it just was not okay. At all. What's he doing? Hey, Joey, I think he's fine. Don't time him out. I don't think he did anything. I could be wrong, but he's talking about the lunar eclipse and the blood moon. That's a real thing that's actually happening. Or happened in the past, or what. I'm not sure if there's one coming up or not, but yeah. Yeah, Joanna, I'm not sure he did anything wrong there. I don't know. If I missed something, I apologize, but what was the name? I think it was Ukfe, right? Ukfe? Uwe? Yeah, I think that was either a mistake or I don't know. Either way, I don't know. I guess unless something was said that I missed. But anyway, if that was a mistake, I'm sorry. I didn't really see much there. But yeah, so we'll just go ahead and move on. But listen, guys, I just want you guys to understand that I did a lot of research on this for over a year. And I don't want anybody holding any ill feelings towards any other channel. Listen, even the guy that came in here jacking with me and I addressed him for 15 minutes, which is 15 minutes of my life I will never get back. I don't want anything bad to happen to him either. Just saying. Just saying. So that is what it is, and we'll just leave it at that. Hey John, what's up? Hey, tell Matthew I said hi. I check in on his channel. I just haven't had time to comment or anything over there. Guys, if you guys don't know who Matthew Shipley is, go check him out. That's a really good way to get really quick, good looking graphical solar weather, space weather. It's awesome. Matthew Shipley is his channel. I can't get to it really all that easy right now. I'd put a link in there. But again, guys, I appreciate everybody. I know, again, I haven't done a video in a while. So thank you for coming by here and listening to me talk like I'm talking and doing what I'm doing. And again, guys, I don't mean to cause trouble anywhere. I feel like I'm allowed to, at least defend myself in the way, especially when it happened the way that it happened. But I want to give that one more last piece of advice too to anybody that doesn't agree with cancel culture. Go over to Team YouTube on Twitter and tag them and say, hey, this is what's going on. People's channels shouldn't be getting shut down for something like that. It just shouldn't. It's wrong. So just thought I'd say that. And yeah, so God bless, guys. Love all you guys, and I am going to pop off. So hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. And yeah, I guess I'll say it this time. I didn't get to say it last time, but God bless. Yahusha saves. and you can drink this Kool-Aid.